Most of us spend our lives believing we already know what awakening looks like. We expect it to be dramatic, sudden, or reserved for saints and monks on mountaintops. But what if I told you? The real awakening often comes quietly, later in life, when you least expect it, sometimes not until you turn 63. In this video, we'll explore the hidden dimensions of awakening after 50 through the lens of Ram Dass's timeless wisdom. And I want to hear from you. What has been your greatest awakening so far in life? Share it in the comments, because your story might inspire someone else who needs to hear it today. If this resonates with you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and join me on this journey. Now, let's begin. There's a story we are told from the moment we begin to grow up. A story about timelines. It says, by the time you're 20, you should have discovered your passions. By 30, you should be building a career and a family. By 40, you should be secure, established, and on track. And by 50, well, the world whispers that you should already have it all figured out. But what happens when you don't? What happens when you reach 50 or 60 or even 70 and realize that the so-called perfect timeline never truly matched your life? For many, this realization comes with a heavy weight, a quiet anxiety. A thought that says, if I haven't awakened by now, maybe it's too late. Maybe I missed my chance. This is the illusion of a perfect timeline, a belief that there is some universal calendar against which your spiritual growth is being measured. And yet, if you pause and listen deeply, you will see, this is not truth, it's only conditioning. It's the echo of a society that loves milestones and deadlines, but often forgets the mystery of the soul. Ram Dass often reminded us, we're all just walking each other home. Think about that. There is no rush on this walk, no stopwatch, no finish line we must cross before the clock runs out. We are walking, together, toward the same place. And on this path, awakening does not belong to the young or to the old. It belongs to the moment when your heart is ready. Some awaken at 25, through a sudden experience of loss or love. Others awaken at 63, in a quiet morning when the light falls through the window just right, and some discover it much later, at 80 or 90, as they release their last attachments to who they thought they were supposed to be. Awakening is not about age, it is about readiness, it is about grace. And grace has no calendar. The pressure to be someone by a certain age, this is one of the greatest prisons of our time. It creates fear, it creates comparison, it makes us believe that life is a race. And yet the truth is far more generous. Life is not a race, but a dance, and every dancer joins the circle at the perfect time for them. So, if you've ever looked back on your life and thought, I'm behind, I should have found my purpose by now, I should have awakened already, I invite you to breathe, to soften, to see that these thoughts are not your truth. They are only voices of conditioning. What if everything that has happened, every delay, every detour, every so-called mistake, was actually part of your perfect unfolding? What if the timing of your awakening is not late at all, but exquisitely precise? Ram Dass used to say that the spiritual journey is less about getting somewhere, and more about relaxing into the truth of where you already are. When we cling to the illusion of a perfect timeline, we tighten, we compare, we push. But when we let go, when we allow life to open us in its own mysterious rhythm, we discover that we were never late. We were always exactly on time. So maybe your awakening is happening now, in this very moment, as you listen. Not because of the number on your birthday candles, not because you checked all the boxes society handed you, but because your soul is ready. And readiness is the only timeline that matters. Imagine if we could release the pressure to arrive by a certain age. Imagine the freedom, imagine the peace. We could finally live each day as it is, not as a measurement against some invisible standard. We could finally allow ourselves to grow, to discover, to awaken, without shame, without fear of being late. So I ask you, have you ever felt that you were running behind in life, that you missed your chance to live fully, to love deeply, to awaken spiritually? If so, know this, you are not late. You are right on time. This moment, right now, is your doorway. As Ram Dass reminded us, We're all just walking each other home. Not racing, not competing, not arriving at the same moment, but always arriving together. And perhaps that is the most comforting truth. There is no perfect timeline. There is only your timeline. And it has led you here, exactly where you are meant to be. The hidden gift of aging. They tell us that aging is about losing energy, losing beauty, losing time. But what if we've been taught the story all wrong? What if aging is not about decline, but about discovery? What if the years we carry are not a burden, but a blessing, an opening into a deeper truth that youth is simply too busy, too restless to see? In our younger years, life is a chase. We run after achievement, after relationships, after recognition. We build careers, raise families, and try to carve a place for ourselves in the world. Youth is full of fire, yes, but also full of noise. We are pulled outward, distracted by the demands of society, by the pressure to become someone in the eyes of others. But as the decades pass, something begins to shift. The things we once thought were everything, status, speed, perfection, start to loosen their hold. The mask, as Ram Dass used to say, begins to fall away. Aging, he taught, is not about becoming less. It is about becoming more real, more true, more free. Yes, the body changes, the skin softens, the steps slow. The mirror tells us what time has taken, but in that same reflection something else begins to shine, a depth, a peace, a wisdom that cannot be faked and cannot be rushed. It is the hidden gift of aging. Ram Dass often reminded us that our roles, our identities, the ways we present ourselves to the world, are like costumes we wear on stage. In youth, we cling to those costumes as if they are who we are. But as we age, the grip loosens. We see that the mask is not the face. The role is not the soul. We are not what we do. We are not what we look like. We are not the story that others have told about us. We are something far greater, and aging gently invites us back to that truth. Think of a tree in autumn. The leaves fall, the branches grow bare. From the outside, some might see loss. But look closer, see the light that pours through, see the strength of the trunk revealed. In youth, we are like the tree in summer, full, bursting with color, almost hiding our true shape. But in aging, the essence is revealed. The roots, the endurance, the quiet presence that remains after the surface has changed. And maybe that is the greatest invitation of aging, to stop pretending, to stop chasing, and to finally rest in what has always been here. To discover that beneath the masks, beneath the roles, beneath the changing body, there is a presence, calm, loving, eternal, that has been guiding us all along. It is not always easy. Society fears aging. It worships youth, productivity, speed. It tells us that to grow old is to become invisible. But Ram Dass offered another vision. He said that aging is like being gently prepared to return home. Each year, each wrinkle, each surrender is part of the soul's journey back to truth. He used to say, "We are all just walking each other home." And what a beautiful way to see this stage of life, not as decline, but as pilgrimage. The truth is, aging strips away what is false, and in that stripping, something else appears, something radiant, a new kind of beauty, one that comes not from the perfection of the body but from the light of the heart. A beauty that shines in kindness, in patience, in presence. So perhaps the real question is not, what have I lost with age, but rather, what have I gained that youth could not give me? Because you have gained depth, you have gained perspective, you have gained the ability to see through illusions. You have learned that joy is not found in constant doing, but in simply being. You have learned that love, real love, is not about possession or performance, but about presence. Yes, the body grows older, but the spirit grows wiser. And in that wisdom there is freedom. So let us not fear the passing years. Let us embrace them as sacred teachers. Let us walk slower, but with more awareness. Let us speak less, but with more truth. Let us love not with the urgency of youth, but with the tenderness of one who knows how fragile and precious each moment really is. This is the hidden gift of aging, the chance to finally awaken to the life we were too distracted to notice before. The chance to see with new eyes, to live with open hands, to love without masks. So I ask you, as you look at your own journey, what spiritual gift has aging given you? What depth, what wisdom, what peace has arrived, not in spite of the passing years, but because of them? Share it. Speak it. Because your story may be the light someone else is waiting to see. Remember, youth may sparkle, but age glows, and that glow is not fading. It is awakening. There is a strange idea many of us carry through life, that spiritual awakening is something rare, distant and reserved for a chosen few. We imagine that it only happens to monks in faraway temples, or seekers who spend decades meditating in caves. We think it requires rituals, retreats, or years of disciplined practice, and so we keep waiting. Waiting for the perfect teacher, the perfect place, the perfect time. But what if the awakening you've been waiting for was already much closer than you imagined? For many people, the turning point does not arrive in a sacred hall or during a profound lecture. It often comes in the most ordinary moments. Washing dishes, feeling the warmth of the water running over your hands, tending to a garden as the sunlight falls gently on the leaves, listening to a piece of music that somehow speaks to the quietest part of your soul. In those small ordinary moments, something opens, a pause, a silence, a recognition, and suddenly you realize this is it. Ram Dass, the beloved teacher of our generation, often reminded us with a simple phrase, "Be here now." These 3 words hold the essence of awakening: to be present, not rushing to fix the past, not worrying about the future, but simply resting in this very moment. After 60, 70 or more years of life, many of us begin to feel that time itself is speaking differently to us. We are no longer running as we once did. Ambitions and achievements lose their urgency. There is more space to notice, more space to breathe. And in that slowing down, the door to awakening often begins to open. Perhaps you have felt it, a moment when you are sitting on your porch, watching the evening sky, or holding the hand of someone you love without needing to say a word. That moment when your racing thoughts finally soften, and for just a breath you know you are exactly where you are meant to be. That stillness, that presence, is awakening. It does not always arrive with fireworks or visions. Sometimes it comes as a gentle whisper, a soft awareness that you are not separate from the life around you, that the same force that moves the ocean tides and turns the seasons also breathes within you. Ram Dass described aging as a graceful letting go. We spend so many years building, achieving, proving ourselves, and then as the years unfold, we are invited to loosen the grip, to let go of masks, of roles, of identities that no longer fit. What remains, when all the layers fall away, is something simple, something real, a presence that cannot be taken from you. So many people fear growing older. They see it only as loss. But what if it is also the greatest gift? What if age itself is the doorway into the awakening that once seemed so far away? When the body slows down, when the noise of ambition grows quiet, the soul finally has space to speak. Maybe you have noticed that the things which once mattered so much, the arguments, the competition, the constant striving, begin to feel less important. Instead, small things shine brighter. The laughter of a grandchild, the beauty of a single flower, the sound of rain on the window. In these simple moments, presence awakens. Ram Dass said, "We're all just walking each other home." That home is not somewhere in the future, not in another lifetime, not even in another place. It is right here, in the awareness of this moment. The homecoming happens when we finally stop running and allow ourselves to arrive. So if you are over 60 or 70 or more, know this: it is never too late. In fact, perhaps this is the perfect time. Awakening is not about how many years you have lived, but about how deeply you can be present to the life unfolding before you. The awakening may come today. It may come while you sip your morning tea. It may come in the sound of birds at dawn, or in a quiet realization that you no longer need to be anyone other than who you already are. When it comes, it often feels like remembering something you had forgotten, a truth that has been with you all along. You are not your fears. You are not your regrets. You are not even your thoughts. You are the awareness that watches it all. You are the spacious presence that can simply be. And so, as you listen to these words, I invite you to pause for just a moment. Feel your breath. Notice your body resting where you are. Let yourself be fully here. Because this moment, this very breath, could be the beginning of your awakening. The truth is, the awakening we wait for has already arrived. It was never somewhere else. It was always here, waiting for us to notice. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever had a simple, ordinary moment that changed the way you saw life? A small pause, a sudden realization, a sense of peace that surprised you? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might be the very reminder someone else needs to hear today. And if these reflections touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe, so together we can keep walking this path of presence, compassion, and awakening. Because remember, the awakening doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It arrives when we are ready to see, and sometimes that readiness blossoms right now. There is a moment in life when the chase slows down. The goals, the achievements, the constant comparison to others, all of it begins to lose its weight. For many, this moment comes in the later chapters of life, sometimes at 63, sometimes even later. And what feels at first like an ending is in fact the beginning of something much greater, the awakening of presence, compassion, and true freedom. Living the awakening is not a destination. It's not a peak we climb, take a photo, and then move on. It is a daily practice, a way of being that reshapes every ordinary moment. Ram Dass reminded us of this so beautifully when he said, "The quieter you become, the more you can hear." Awakening is learning to listen, to yourself, to others, and to the life that flows all around you. At 63 and beyond, awakening often shows itself not through fireworks or grand visions, but through simplicity. Washing dishes becomes meditation. A quiet walk in the morning becomes communion. Sitting with a friend in silence becomes more profound than any speech. The spiritual path stops being about seeking experiences and instead becomes about living them. And here's the beautiful truth. Awakening at this stage of life is not just for you, it's also for the people around you. Your children, your grandchildren, your friends, your community. Without even trying, you become a source of presence and wisdom. You don't have to preach. You don't have to convince anyone. The way you live, the way you breathe, the way you treat others, this is the teaching. Ram Dass often spoke about letting go of the roles we cling to, the achiever, the parent, the one who always has to be strong, the one who always has to be right. Aging, in its own way, invites us to release those roles. When the masks fall away, what is left is love, simple, unconditional, and unshakable. Living the awakening means embodying this love. It means choosing compassion over judgment, patience over irritation, and curiosity over fear. It means seeing each person not as an obstacle or a stranger, but as another soul walking home just like you. But make no mistake, awakening does not mean life suddenly becomes free of challenges. Health issues, losses, unexpected changes, they still arrive. The difference is how you meet them. Instead of resisting, you learn to flow. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you begin to ask, "What is this teaching me?" Each difficulty becomes a doorway to deeper presence. Think about it. What if every morning you approached the day not with a list of tasks to conquer, but with a sense of wonder, asking, "How can I serve today? How can I love today? How can I be present today?" This is the daily rhythm of awakened living. And here is something that may surprise you. Others notice, they may not say it, but they feel it. They feel calmer in your presence. They feel safer sharing their struggles with you. They feel inspired, not by your words, but by your way of being. Awakening radiates outward like sunlight through a window. This is why living the awakening is not just personal, it's generational. When someone over 60 chooses presence instead of bitterness, love instead of fear, openness instead of clinging to the past, they become a beacon for those younger. Your life becomes proof that spirituality is not abstract, not distant. It is alive, here, now. So I invite you to reflect. If you could leave only one teaching for someone younger, one spiritual truth that has carried you, what would it be? Would it be the courage to let go? The reminder to be here now? The realization that love is the only thing worth keeping? Whatever it is, trust that your example already speaks louder than your words. Living the awakening at 63 and beyond is not about waiting for the next mystical moment. It's about realizing that the mystical moment is already here, hidden in the breath, in the sound of the wind, in the warmth of connection. The treasure you've been seeking has been within you all along. So breathe deeply, walk gently, listen more than you speak, love without condition. And remember, the quieter you become, the more you can hear. Because the true gift of awakening is not just for you, it is the light you pass on, simply by being who you are.